Prof, if you want me to debate you on that later.
Sorry,
I'm coming to something.
Prof,
If you want me to debate you on that, you cannot point your finger at any item that is consumed in Nigeria that is manufactured in Nigeria. I challenge anybody to show me one product. Yes, you might mention Gary. Even Innosi Motor is some manufacturing vehicles in Nigeria. What they are doing, they are assembling vehicles.
Yes.
Don't come here to criticize Nigeria. If you look at my arm, written Nigeria, proud to be Nigeria. You know the GDP of Lebanon, just $21 billion. A tiny small country. I don't know how they bring them here. They bring them here and they make them experts in everything. The first thing Nigeria should do is to take that 50 million of Dieziani, bring it to Ologbo where we have gas, set up those things and plug them into the gas system. My book, I wrote it. I said there is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. People say corruption, Nigeria is corrupt. But that is not the reason why we are having problems. We are having problems because we have no direction.
Today we're going to be talking about what we started last week on revamping various sectors in Nigeria. You know, we're in January and still in the beginning of the year. It's expedient to talk about this sector, knowing well that if attention is given to them by authorities in charge, it will no doubt boost the nation's economy. You know, of course, we can't talk about all the sectors in one day. So basically today, we are going to be looking in depth into the manufacturing sector. What do you think are the lapses? What are the perceived challenges? And of course, the way forward in the manufacturing sector. And if time permits, we're going to be looking into the education sector. I'm not alone on the program. I have here with me, it's a lecturers. That's the person of Dr. Caesar Osaheni Iyayi. You're welcome to the program, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Caesar is an industrialist. He is the public affairs analyst. He is the managing director of Caesar Iyayi Nigeria Limited and the author of the ABC of how to industrialize Nigeria. Good to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I also have in the studio Professor Eddie Ehihameno. Welcome, Prof.
Good afternoon, viewers, and thank you very much.
You're welcome to the program. Prof is a lecturer at the University of Benin. He is a pioneer director, Center for Forensic Programs and DNA Studies. And of course, the Director General of Savan, right? Prof, you're welcome once again to the program. Yes. We're going straight to the thrust of today's discussion. You know, Prof, I'm going to start with you. Okay. You know, manufacturing sector is one of the key sectors in Nigeria. Do you think or believe that Nigeria, as some person would think, that Nigeria is a consuming country and not a producer country?
Well, essentially from all economic indexes, I'm not an economist, but I'm essentially a consumer.
I understand.
And I think I fall within the purview of those people that believe that we are essentially a consuming nation.
Really?
The rate of production is not that high. But come to think of it, the present devaluation of our currency was supposed to give us a catalyst to actually be an export nation. Okay. And because once your country is grossly devalued, that means your products are cheaper in the international market. They should be able to push out more to the international market. But for those people who know more about GDP, purchasing power, they'll be able to talk about that better than myself.
Okay, Prof, yes. We understand that you're an industrialist, you're very vast in this area. In fact, you even wrote a book in that direction. Is it really true? Are you supporting what Prof just said, that Nigeria, to some extent, is a consuming country and not a producing country?
No, absolutely. Nigeria is not a producing country.
Are you for real?
Absolutely. 0% production. Zero. In terms of manufacturing, we are zero in the index. I say that because you cannot point your finger at any item that is consumed in Nigeria that is manufactured in Nigeria. I challenge anybody to show me one product that is made in Nigeria and consumed in Nigeria. You cannot find it. Yes.
We might mention Gary.
Prof has some of those things. Well,
well, I'm talking about products that we can produce here for the industry, add value to it.
Okay.
Of course, you can say that as a matter of comedy, Gary and yam and whatnot.
Yeah, agricultural produce.
But I don't think that's what Japan is doing. I don't think that is what the USA or China is doing. If China were just producing Gary and bread, they won't bring it to Nigeria. We won't need it. We need to produce things that we need to consume and also export.
Okay.
We are not doing that. We deceive ourselves, we delude ourselves when we continue to say that we are manufacturing things. For example, somebody showed a picture or a video of an electric car and was showing it on the internet, and I got a clip from the US saying, oh, congratulations, we are making vehicles in Nigeria. I said, blah, 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 dash. That is not true at all. Even Inusi Motor is not manufacturing vehicles in Nigeria when people say that. Yes. What they are doing, they are assembly vehicles.
Yes,
people don't make soap in Nigeria because what we are doing, the active ingredient in soap, for example, is imported. That's the sodium hydroxide, caustic soda, the way everybody will know it. We only add oil to it, and then we make soap.
Yeah, because they say we have companies that produce chemicals that use
Which chemical?
Soap, detergents.
No.
And even chemicals for water treatment we use in water.
No. The chemicals for water treatment. For example, now you want to treat water to remove the bacteria in it. You need something like chlorine, for example.
Okay.
It's not made here, but chlorine is something that you make from salt. Salt is made up of two elements, sodium and chlorine. And when you add water to it, water is made up of two elements also, hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah.
But by the time you pass through electrolysis, you remove the chlorine. That chlorine can be captured and used for other industrial and domestic purposes. Whereas what is left is sodium hydroxide. We cannot even make that in Nigeria. What are we making? Nothing. What I want to tell you on this program is that I'm not a critic. I don't come here to criticize Nigeria. If you look at my arm, written Nigeria, proud to be Nigeria.
Of course I do that.
So I don't criticize Nigeria. What I want to talk about is what can the government do to encourage entrepreneurship to venture into manufacturing so that we can start manufacturing things. If we don't do that, we'll only continue to complain about unemployment in Nigeria. Everybody is leaving Nigeria, they want to Japan because nothing is happening here. Even whatever we say we are doing in terms of construction, we have given everything to Lebanese. Do you know the GDP of Lebanon? It will shock you. Just $21 billion. A tiny small country of people that I don't know how they bring them here. They bring them here and they make them experts in everything. Because you can see about 50 Lebanese who will come together, put money together and come and start construction company in Nigeria. You don't let Nigerians do it anymore. No country in the world can ever start manufacturing or industrialize their country by bringing in foreigners to do it for you. It must be done by indigenes. In my book, I wrote it. I said there is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. And here we are, we sit down here and we're deluding ourselves, Ministry of Industry. They should close that place down. They close it down. It doesn't deserve to exist at all. The industry over here. What are you manufacturing? There are many things that we can manufacture. I'm not saying that we should go and spend billions of dollars doing this or that. Let us start in a very elementary way. Yes. For example, I heard that Dieziani, they are returning $50 million.
Where shall the night she's not house?
That she kept somewhere.
Yes.
Now, you will be surprised what will happen with that money. You won't be able to see anything that was done with that money. What can you do with that money? Let me give you an example of what you can do with it. If you want to manufacture anything, The first thing you need is to be able to generate electricity.
That's
Do you know
correct.
how much we are generating? Maximum last year, at the highest peak, was 5,000 megawatts. South Africa, 75,000 megawatts. 75,000, Nigeria, 5,000. Egypt, 70,000, Nigeria, 5,000. Even Ethiopia is ahead of us. In terms of GDP now, Nigeria 4 years ago was number 1 in Africa. Today, Nigeria is number 4 or number 5. South Africa is number 1 with 400 and something billion.
So Nigeria
dollars.
is still way back below.
Egypt is 400. Nigeria is 199.
Yes.
4 years ago, we were 400 or something. We are now 199. Partly because our money has been devalued. And so if you want to work it out, you do the math all the time. If whatever figure you have, you divide by the value of the dollar, that tells you how much GDP. So right now we're at 199. That doesn't really matter. What matters is what can you produce?
Exactly.
Because that is what determines the improvement in the lives of people. We as a people cannot continue to do what we are doing now. We have been foolish. We are not acting like people that are logical. We don't know that we don't know. We continue to wallow in our ignorance. And it is time for us to do something. As I was saying just now, so that you can give a chance for the Prof to say something. Take that $50 million. You can buy a second-hand TM, that is trailer-mounted 2,500 turbine made by General Electric. That can produce between 22 to 32 megawatts of power. Now, 50 million, if you take $50 million, for example, there are other things that you have to add to it. I'm just talking at the elementary level. You take $50 million, a second-hand TM is about $1.5 million. So if you do the math, maybe you'll be able to get about 30 to 33 LM 2,500 made by General Electric. What do you do with that? If you bring them to Nigeria, with that amount you can buy like 30 to 33. Each one can generate minimum of 20 to 32 megawatts of power. Why do you need them in Nigeria? When you bring those 33 machines together and you synchronize them, it can generate 600 megawatts of power. That 600 megawatts of power, what do I want to do with it? Take that 600 megawatts of power, synchronize them, put them in one place, and set up industries, manufacturing industries.
Wow.
And within 6 months, you will see magic. That one is not like the one they are building, say they are going to build a power plant. They will use 5 years to build it. This one doesn't need any construction. You put it on the trailer,
You just mount
and
it.
you bring it here and just mount it, and you plug it to gas.
Yes.
You have 22 megawatts of power.
Already.
If you synchronize it, you have 600. Imagine what 600 can do for you when the whole Nigeria is struggling to produce 5,000. With 50 million now, you can talk of 600. There are other things to be added to it. But where we have trouble is what will build a huge plant that will take forever. We have so many of them that are empty, nothing inside. They will go and commission them. They have been doing that for a long time. It is time to stop this nonsense.
Yes.
Let's really be serious for a while. Whether people say corruption, Nigeria is corrupt. This is true, I understand that. But that is not the reason why we are having problems. We are having problems because we have no direction. People say to me, they gather all the president together and they'll be giving them accolades. Former president, they dignify them. They don't deserve any respect.
I think it's just
they did not don't need any respect.
For the
They
president.
didn't do anything for Nigeria. All the former governors didn't do anything for Nigeria. The ones that are there now, listen to me. The ones that are there now should start thinking of how they can get Nigeria to manufacture something. That is the only way you can get us out of this
Yes, as a
problem
way of
we are
revamping
facing.
the manufacturing sector.
No revamping, it has never been
We
there.
have to.
You have never manufactured before, so you're not revamping.
Well, there are so many claims to say that the Nigerians have companies that process food like beverages and other things. You're talking about manufacturing from the scratch.
Now, when you say you are producing beverages, you know what they do? There's what they call concentrate.
Okay.
They bring the concentrate and add water to it.
Import the
concentrate. Then you now add water. Is that manufacturing? That's not manufacturing.
I think it goes beyond what you have said. The question you ask yourself, even when you blame the leader, the people being led, are they ready to?
Okay, sir, I was coming to that, Prof. But what you said.
I say so because, as I said before,
yes,
the devaluation of the country currency is supposed to be a catalyst to make people even seek for export-related products. If your currency is devalued, I know over and over again, U.S. government have told China to raise the value of their currency that is grossly undervalued. And because of that, Chinese people have been manipulating their currency to be undervalued. So if you devalue currency, it's supposed to be a catalyst, but because we actually produce nothing, that's why we are suffering this. Are we ready to produce? Let's take the layer of not just the manufacturing, even from the university, in terms of abstract thinking, intellectual abstract thinking. Yeah, Nigeria has some of the most intelligent people in the world.
Of course, that's
very intelligent. Anywhere in the world they excel. But the question is, does that abstract thinking translate to operational success or patency? And that's the reason why, even if you say you're going to come to university later, I'll drag into the university matter. Because when I see global ranking of university, I always laugh. The only global ranking I used to respect, and I still respect it now, is university ranking based on patent. University ranking based on patent. University of California seems to be the #1 in the world, where they release patent of over 500 every year, and other and so on. Patent means the knowledge base in the university being translated to action in the society. Do you have such kind of, synergy? We don't have it in this country, and therefore,
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I mean, in terms of knowing the needs. What is the need of the country in terms of manufacturing, in terms of security, in terms of so many things?
Yes,
for the university to...
Prof, let me tell you this, sir.
Yes.
You don't need anybody at this point to tell us what we need. We already know what we need.
No, when we say need, there's a reason for it. The need means you design your curriculum, design your academic system to fit the need. When you see a lot of curriculum these days, you still see international relations, international this and that. When I see some of the courses in the university that I belong to, I'll just laugh.
Prof, if you want me to debate you on that later.
Sorry, I'm coming to something.
If you want me to debate you on that,
wait now. Do not forget the product of your manufacturing.
Yeah, that's why I linked it to the education sector. You are coming there. What Doc said. You said.
Let me answer him. Let me answer him.
We don't, yes, sir. Just wait.
No, you can't answer.
You said there's something you made in your comment that no country is being we develop without.
There is no country in the world that was industrialized by
foreigners.
Yes. And you can put me on that one too.
Okay, yes. I think at this
now,
point. That is a hated argument. You want to start? We know, of course, as you have said, Prof. Yeah. We know these are interrelated. One need to be educated on what they want to manufacture, or what they want to produce. Did you think that Nigerians, as in from the university setting where you belong, are really ready, education-wise, to present themselves or to prepare themselves and ensure that they bring the things to produce or manufacture things in their own country?
Is it Nigeria or
Nigerians? We make up the country.
It's not as if we are not ready. In as much as we are ready, the environment itself, is it friendly? Just as I mentioned before.
Yeah,
the government policy, is it friendly? Do people themselves, do they want? Let me give you an instance. You see this phone that they took from us just now. When you see the phone, you appreciate the aesthetic of the design, the cover, the pouch, and everything. But you don't see what is inside, the microprocessor, the chips.
Yes.
Good. If I told you that the reason why China love Taiwan, not just because they want to take over, America is flexing more over Taiwan. 65% of the microchips in the world is controlled by Taiwanese. So if Taiwan is to go under today, many of those devices. Because if you talk of microchip processors, semiconductors, they are controlled. 65% of them, they control it in the world. Therefore, when you are talking of manufacturing, you must have an area, devise an area. Where do you want to be an excellent? You can't be in all. For example, we have agro-allied products
that is as
that
a
we
country
can,
now.
exactly, as a country, we have those ones that we can even develop.
Yes.
Even the bitter cola we have, we take it for granted. When I was in the US the other day, in Texas, they were advertising capsule bitter cola as capsule. Don't be surprised, they will ship it to Africa later. The bitter cola we eat every day. They will now translate the thing to the university. When I came back from the US some months ago, I discovered that I have lost my capacity to vocalize. I couldn't talk because I had some viral infection. Now, what happened? I took lime, turmeric, ginger, and other and so on, which my friend recommended to me, even though I work in the medical segment. I took it, less than 72 hours, I was better off and other. I was happy and I was sad. I was happy that I was better off. I was sad in the sense that if you look at our curriculum, that's why I say they all work hand in hand.
Yes.
If you look at our curriculum, what have you essentially teaching over the years are those synthetic prescription medication or over-the-counter medications designed by the Caucasians. The curriculum that we have been following over the years are designed by Caucasians. What stopped even our industry and to say, look, there are a lot of local remedy dealing with a lot of these basic problems in society. Can we, mix the content of your curriculum so that your pharmacology will have maybe 10 or 20% local content, so that the synthetic one you have been teaching over the years still get the bulk, or mix whatever level, so that at the end of the day, no matter how basic it is, I will know that the basic thing we have within our society here, I can use them, no matter how simple it is. But we do not cherish those things. That is the problem. That's the problem. We don't even cherish what we have. And because we are unable to cherish what we have, we can't package it.
What we have.
What we have.
We
You
don't
understand?
value
And we
it.
don't really value it. Because for me, I feel bad that I have to teach over here how many, most of those synthetic medication, whether the local one, sometimes I have to apply it to even treat myself. And take it or leave it. If you start talking of the local one, even in the annual conference, many people say, is it a herbal conference or what? And there's nothing wrong with actually calling herbalist, call it NUC and other and so on. So many of these things you are promoting and other, we can see how we can mix the medical curriculum to see the level that they can accommodate. You understand what I'm saying? So that is why I say everything works hand in hand. Those microchip I mentioned just now, although some universities right now in Nigeria are talking of cloud computing and others, I'm not aware of anyone that has any structure on microchips or processor or semiconductor. That is just on that side.
On one side.
Exactly. Because when he's talking of manufacturing, the manufacturing takes so many different layers. That's under ICT manufacturing.
Okay, come. Let me shed light on what you have said.
Yes.
I want to pick the things we have talked about.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'll follow exactly.
Okay.
Let's take your telephone that you just mentioned now. Ask yourself, what's inside the telephone? The telephone is made of only one element. Only one element. Silicon. The microprocessor, the glass, everything is there is one element. Finish. What is the difference now? You take, what's silicon? Sand. There are different grades of silicon. The highest grade for manufacturing telephone is quartz. If you want to make glass, for example, you use sharp sand, that white sand. These are that's just raw material, basically.
Yes.
What is now left is the equipment and the technological know-how.
To put it together.
So what can Nigeria do? The first thing Nigeria should do is to take that 50 million of Dieziani, bring it to Ologbo, where we have gas.
Okay.
Bring it to Ologbo, where we have gas. Set up those things and plug them into the gas system and generate power and synchronize. You need so much electricity to melt sand. You can melt iron faster than you can melt sand. So you need a lot of power to do that. If you have that, and then you bring in the machinery to do that, which is available. White people, they are so kind to us that they don't hide things. Bring those machineries here and bring in the experts that are running those machineries there. Some of them are not even educated. You bring them here. When they start working with the machines, and Nigerians work with those machines, after 6 years, we will now start teaching them how to do it, because our people are very good at learning. Our people are very good at copying things. We are very, very intelligent, the way he said it earlier. I don't want us to continue to look for somebody to blame, or white people design the curriculum. They left us 60 years ago.
I'll tell you where I disagree with you.
Wait, I'm coming.
Before you continue your
They left us 60 years ago,
yes,
and we are still complaining about, I didn't want stopping us from designing our curriculum.
thank you very
That
much.
is not the issue
We'll
now.
come back to that, sir. We'll come back to that, sir. It's a very good point you're raising out there. At this time, we want to take a break. I'm sure you're enjoying it. Now, of course, you're learning from what is being discussed at this point.
Prof, if you want me to debate you on that later.
Sorry,
I'm coming to something.
If you want me to debate you on that, you cannot point your finger at any item that is consumed in Nigeria that is manufactured in Nigeria. I challenge anybody to show me one product. Yes.
You might mention Gary.
Even see motor is some manufacturing vehicles in Nigeria. What they are doing, they are assembling vehicles.
Yes.
Don't come there to criticize Nigeria. If you look at my arm, written Nigeria, proud to be Nigerian. You know the GDP of Lebanon, just $21 billion. A tiny small country. I don't know how they bring them here. They bring them here and they make them experts in everything. The first thing Nigeria should do is to take that 50 million of Dieziani, bring it to Ologbo where we have gas, set up those cells and plug them into the gas system. In my book, I wrote it. I said there is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. People say corruption, Nigeria is corrupt. But that is not the reason why we are having problems. We are having problems because we have no direction.